Soundstripe.
I'm already sick of him.
All right, we're on.
All right, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, welcome to Hawk Talk, the official podcast of the Batemans Bay Seahawks Football Club, and the only place where you can get all the news and happenings at the football club and learn a little bit more about about the great people that make this club what it is. I'm your host, Joel Erickson. Over on the other side of the screen, there is Mick Kenny. How are you, Mick?
Mate. I'm very good, thank you, mate. Pretty
And
excited about this one.
yeah, this one's gonna go off because our special guest is a bloke who, look, let's be honest, has probably copped it on this podcast a little bit over the past couple of years, but genuinely is also probably one of my favourite people at the football club. It's Liam Backo. Liam, how are you?
I'm good, Jolie. Thanks for having me. It's an honour and a privilege to be share the screen with you too.
Yeah, look, I think I'm probably going to cop a bit tonight, Nick. Because if you can say anything for sure about Liam, it's that he gives as good as he gets. So
Yes, he definitely does. I must say though, the socials have gone off the chain today, Backo. You've hit us to a new level on the socials.
Yeah, I'm pretty flattered to be honest. I got a few messages for that, so no, it was an honour, really.
Yeah, look, we didn't just bring Backo on today to let him have a go at me for all the pest jokes that I've made over the past couple of years. It is actually a very special weekend for Liam, and I think you've already played it, but we're going to be celebrating Backo's 100th game for the club, which is a massive achievement for a guy who probably didn't really establish himself as a solid every week first grader until just about maybe last year or the year before. But I mean, I think Mick, you probably saw the improvements that he made last year, getting a really good go at first grade. Without having seen him play this season, I'd imagine that has just continued.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think obviously made a little mention on the socials today, but pretty underrated defender, and works really hard for us, and just does the little things really well. So, really happy for the big fella to celebrate his 100th game for a club that he loves dearly, and obviously played all his junior footy as well. So, should be a cracking day on Saturday.
And there's a good chance he also has the biggest boot at the club. And I think
He's up there. Yeah, there.
He'll love me for saying that as well.
Yeah, thanks, Jolie.
First of all, before we get into any kind of shenanigans with Backo here, there's been massive news this week. Probably the biggest news in the club's recent history. Mick, you are probably delighted to have been able to announce this during the week, but the Batemans Bay Seahawks have officially been accepted into AFL Canberra Premier Grade for the 2026 season. This has been something that's been on the cards for a while, but I think a lot of people at the club probably don't know just how much work you've been putting in behind the scenes to get this over the line. Tell us how long this has kind of been cooking away for starters, and then tell me what the process has been to get to the point that we're at.
Yeah. So it's probably been a bit of a dream or an ambition from the club for a long period of time, mate. I think when we initially went into AFL Canberra in 2013, I think there was a timeline of around sort of 5 years that they wanted us to take that next step, and obviously we weren't ready. We had a few setbacks a few years into that community division, so it's taken us obviously a long period of time to even get in a position where we could probably be considered. So then it was sort of didn't come about until around July 2023. Was when it started to come to life a little bit more, and there was sort of some minimum standards that had come out, and we went back to our board and discussed at length around the direction of the club and whether we thought it was the avenue that we wanted to see the club go down, and it was sort of a unanimous yes that that's where we wanted to go, and provide obviously a clear pathway for our players and obviously the youth coming through now. So that sort of come from there, and then we gradually just ticked off those requirements, which were a lot around facilities, around sustainability as well. So our under 18 grades, and it's been a lot of hard work, mate. But obviously really happy to get that announcement on Monday, and obviously a bit scary as well. Taking a big step. We know it's obviously a massive step going up there, but hopefully we've done all the right work off the field to have a really good platform to jump off to within that in that first year and build off that.
Mick, how many miles do you reckon you've put in the wheels of your car? Because from what I know of the situation, you've had meetings in Canberra, meetings down here. I think from memory, you were telling me you were having to drive out to places like Wagga in the kind of the pursuit of this. So, do you reckon you've ticked over what 10, 20K? How many miles on the old car now?
I don't know. There'd be a few, mate. Like you say, we've obviously had to go to a fair few meetings up in Canberra and vice versa. There's been a few down here, and we've put the time in. We've had a look at a few clubs around, obviously the Riverina as well. Done a bit of work with a guy down in Melbourne who is involved with the VAFA club as well. So, we're trying to do our due diligence. And try and obviously make sure that we're on the right path, and it's been good, mate. It's been fun. It's obviously something I love doing. It's a passion of mine. So I'm just hoping that now we can get obviously the community and not just the football community of Batemans Bay, but the wider community to really buy into it as well. And I reckon the sky's really the limit if we can get everyone to buy in.
Backo, I might ask you a question from a player's perspective. It's going to be a pretty big jump going from kind of this community first grade that you've been playing into a let's call it a semi-professional kind of setup. What are your thoughts for kind of that jump in both quality of kind of opposition, but also the expectations when it comes to things like training and game day? What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Really, it's just you want to strive for better all the time. So just having this to look forward to and aim for better is just awesome.
And you're obviously you're a pretty young man yourself, Liam. You're kind of coming into the prime of your footballing career, if you can have a prime at something. But mate, could you foresee yourself kind of given 10 years to this club in a first grade, or even if playing reserve grade below that? Can you see yourself kind of being here for another decade?
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be making stairs with Dad for another 20 years. So I'm not going anywhere. I'll be doing something around the footy club.
That's good. At least I'll know what the answer to the club's biggest test will be in the 2035. So Mick, look, what were your emotions like this week, knowing that official announcement was going to be going live?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous, mate. I probably haven't done as much media in the last 2 days as I've ever done in my whole life. So it's been plenty of radio interviews and newspaper interviews and the like. But I think for me, I probably didn't realise how big of a deal it was. I mean, it's obviously something that we've built up for a long period of time, and we've probably known really for a couple of weeks now that it was going to happen. So we're just waiting for this announcement to come out. But it seems to be obviously really well received. Even by the wider sort of AFL Canberra community as well. I've had a few guys reach out. Everyone's really excited for a bit of a change to the Premier Division competition, and I guess I'll just add something a little bit different as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, you mentioned it, but it does seem like it's been really well received on all the kind of the official Facebook pages that it's been posted on. I saw that the Canberra Times did a story about the admission. So, yeah, really big deal. And just quietly, I did notice on I think it might have been actually maybe the AFL Canberra Facebook page, but our mayor, Matt Hatcher, might have put down a sneaky wager with the mayor up of the
He's a
Pontian Palarang. So
he's a brave man. I mean, Queen being last year's premiers, so no pressure there.
yeah. So for those who didn't see that comment, it appears that the wager is the losing mayor will have to wear the opponent's jersey in a council meeting. I think personally, if we do end up getting the chocolates, they should have to wear Backo's game worn jersey. I reckon that'd go down well.
The long sleever too.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Backo?
Yeah, that'd be worth a bit of money, actually.
Yeah, 2 cents is a bit of money, to be fair. No, mate. Look, congratulations. Obviously, it was something that we talked about last year off air. It wasn't something. I mean, it's been mentioned, but I think getting to that point where it's set in stone, it's concrete, it's been announced. It's a massive step for the football club, and congratulations to you, Mick, for getting that over the line, because I know how hard you worked. And if anyone at the club deserves the accolades for a move like this, it's you. So, well done.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that, Jolie.
All good. I can be nice sometimes. I can be nice sometimes. Hey, let's look through the results that have kind of gone on field since we last spoke. Obviously last weekend was a full rain out, unfortunately, with the horrific weather that you guys have been having down there. But the week before, it was a home game for the seniors taking on Molonglo.
Nah, it's away.
Was it away? Was it?
It was.
No, you guys have it. You guys have you first. That always confuses me, eh? All right, it was away. Don't listen to me. It was an away game. You went up to. Is it still that cow paddock out the back, or whatever it is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Good stuff. We'll cut that bit. All right, so big win for Division 1. Seahawks 27-14, 176. Molonglo 117. That's a 169-point win. That's got to be one of your biggest ones in a while, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
Goal kickers, you had three. We'll just mention the top 3 because you had 3 bags of at least 5. Top of the pops, Nathan Blackburn kicked 6, which is probably one of his bigger hauls in a while as well, I'd imagine. Buster Ware kept on his absolute torrid run of form with 5 goals. And the newest Ware to the first grade setup, Jed, also kicked a handful with 5. And it's probably also worth mentioning that this was the first time that all 3 Jed brothers had played first grade together. And if I know anything about, is that correct, or am I lying again?
Yeah, you said Jed brothers, but you mean Ware brothers.
Ware brothers. Mate, I'm on one tonight. What's going on? We'll cut that as well. The 3 Ware brothers all played together.
Yeah.
That's a massive achievement for that family, but also it shows if those 3 stick around, that the club's in very good hands.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, mate. It was unreal moment for those 3 boys to share together. Obviously, Tully and Jed have played a fair bit of footy across the journey, but the 3 of them haven't been able to play together. So, and yeah, for Jetty, I think I obviously played reserve grade and then I walked straight out the door, and Jetty had taken a mark in the goal square and kicked the first goal of the game. So I was pretty excited about that, and it's great to see all the boys. I think even Big Backo there ran the length of the ground to get to him. So it was a great moment to see all the boys get around him, and obviously to kick another 4 after that as well. So
yeah, how were you when you got back to fullback?
Yeah, I was bugging. I think he kicked it from the goal square. He couldn't have kicked it any closer.
Yeah.
So far.
Need him to 12 one from 60 next time.
Oh, I would have loved that.
Oh, good stuff. Liam, what did you notice from that game? Obviously, I mean, it's probably hard as a player to take much out of a game that's that lopsided. But what did you notice, especially being in defence, where it would appear that you probably didn't have an awful lot to do given the score line there?
Yeah, I think midfield played pretty well. They was reading the ruck so well, and they was getting it out of there. Like sometimes it just go back to the centre. I just walk up, set up the zone. It was just easy done by the midfielder. Let's say that.
Did you get the big voice out there much?
Yeah, Buster come down to the centre half back line, and I tried to yell at him. I didn't want to borrow that for a bit, so I tried to yell at him, but no, it was yelling a bit.
Yeah. Good stuff. The reserve grade did not win. That was a 23 to 116 result there. So that is, what is that? Let me do some maths here. A lot of points. 90, what is it?
Yeah,
93?
93.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
93.
the quarter breakdowns aren't on there, but I think we were, don't quote me on it, but I think we were about 56 points down at quarter time, Jolie. So
Yeah, okay.
we got jumped pretty early and the ball was sailing over my head quite a lot. And I thought we are in for a pretty long day. But if you take that first quarter out of it, it's obviously, 40 points, but I didn't think we were too far off after that. But along those reserve grade, to be fair, are a pretty handy side. There's a
Yeah,
lot
okay.
of guys in there that I've played a lot of footy against over the journey.
Yep.
A lot of guys that played in that 2018 grand final side that they had. So, they got some pretty quality footballers in there as well. And there's probably our Rezzies at the moment. We're just lacking a few numbers, but hopefully this weekend we can get a few back and, start getting into a bit of form.
Yeah. Let's talk about the women's game as well. This was a 26-point win to the Seahawks, 32 to 1 straight 6, 5-2, 32 to 1 straight 6. And I want to take some credit here for the podcast, Mick, because Taya Hancock led the goal kickers with 2, and she was also best on ground according to the best list there. And I don't think it's a coincidence that she was on Hawk Talk a fortnight ago and then came out with a performance like that. So, Taya, if you're listening, we take full credit for that amazing performance. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Rising Stars.
Wait till you say Backo this weekend after this week's.
Mate, if we don't get your first goal this weekend, I'll be.
Oh, it'd be lovely. I'd love it.
I'll be ripping into you even more. I promise. Rising Stars, tough week for our 2 Rising Stars teams. The men went down 3-6-24 to 17-10, 112 to Belconnen.
Yep.
And the girls also went down 2-5-17 to 13-11, 89, also to Belconnen. So seems to be probably still a little bit to work there with those.
Just one thing on the men's one, mate.
Sure.
They went up there really depleted on numbers. So being a Saturday game, but if you did have a look at the breakdown, the boys were actually in front at quarter time. So they were it was 16 to 14 at quarter time. So they just ran out of juice probably about halfway through the second quarter. But from all reports, they really matched them in that first quarter and a half. So definitely some good signs to come from that. And likewise with the girls, they were down on numbers as well. But now both grades at home this weekend. So.
Also mentioned Ryder Freya kicked a couple of goals in that game for the Rising Stars men. So that's the results from a couple of weekends ago, because as we said, there was a full rain out across the league last weekend. Yep. Do you want to just quickly talk about the juniors, Mick? What have they been up to?
Yeah, so they obviously had the rain out weekend last weekend as well. So their last game was a couple of weeks ago. It was only the 15s, 16s, and 16s girls and the 17s that played. 15s actually had a draw against Bega Tathra, a team who they only played a few weeks ago, and Bega Tathra beat them by 63 points. So, to come back and have a draw there is a good result for them. 16s girls, they notched up their third win of the year against Bega Tathra, so they've got themselves in a really good position. And the 17s boys got another win under their belt as well against Bega Tathra, so another tight game. I think there's only 3 points in that, but some good results in the juniors, and there this week they are down to Bermagui, I think, this week in the juniors.
Another decent road trip there for those for all those families. So speaking of miles and the wheels, it would be you'd be getting through a few as a junior player.
Yeah, especially at the moment, they've had a bit of a mad run. I think they've played Marimbula, they've played Bega twice down there, they've played Eden, I said Marimbula. So now down to Burmy. So they've looking be eyeballing some home games.
Yeah, I was going to say that generally means you get a nice run of home games somewhere as well. This weekend coming, very special day. We've talked about it on the podcast before, but we'll let you get one last plug in here. I know I think tickets have closed for this, but it's Women's Day this week, and so give us one last spiel on Women's Day, Mick.
Yeah, mate. Really excited actually for obviously the first time we've run the event with my agent team. So Christine Ewan and all the girls have got on board for that, and they've done an exceptional job. We've been talking to Gemma on and off today, and yeah, they're all really excited and ready to go. So I think there's around 80 ladies. So
Wow.
yeah,
Sorry,
they're
Ladies'
to
Day.
watch
It's called
Backo's
Ladies'
big
Day.
day. But yeah, no, it should be an unreal day, mate, and yeah, hopefully they have a good time up there on the balcony.
Now, Liam, you are one to get nervous around the fairer sex. How are you going to go with so many eyeballs on you on the weekend? What's going through your head there, mate?
I'm not too sure. Might need a pep talk, Tony Dog before, and sort of get my head in the game. But
Yeah.
bit of a chat, I'll be all right.
Yeah, okay. That is generally what happens with you, mate. You just need a bit of a chat and a clip up the side of the head, and you're good to go.
Yeah, ready to run.
All right, let's get into the fun part of the podcast. This is where we're gonna. This is where I'm probably going to cough a little bit, but I'll hand it off to you first, Mick, because you've got your extremely important questions, and they are very important. I'm not saying that facetiously.
Have you done your homework, Schooners?
Yeah, I've listened to all the episodes, so I'm pretty sure I'm just off the top of my head.
Yeah, right. Beautiful. All right, we'll get into it then. So your favourite Seahawks teammate of all time?
Oh, I've enjoyed playing with Lucas White because he just makes me laugh. But also, just someone I've always just enjoyed just being there with Bailey Twine.
Yeah.
Played a lot of footy with Bailey Twine. He's just always there, not yelling at me, just whatever, it's all right. Head up, so Bailey Twine.
Yeah,
I like that answer because I feel like those two are the antithesis of each other. Backo's loud and annoying. Twiny's like real reserved and quiet. But they just both get their stuff done on the field. Like you know that they're going to get their job done. I really like that answer.
Yeah. Strangest food combination.
Yeah, I was having a chat stating about what do you reckon? But as a kid, I used to put cheesels in between bread and then put like supercharged sauce on it. I used to like that. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was.
Jolly's nodding. Do you like that, Jolly?
Sorry,
you're nodding your head. Are you happy with that?
I wouldn't say I'm happy with it, but I could picture eating it. I'm a little bit disappointed in the answers to the food questions so far this season.
There'll be one that'll be like gross, I reckon.
There's got to be because so far they've all been like odd but kind of palatable.
Yeah. Backo, go to karaoke song.
American Pie.
Oh yeah.
American Pie.
Yeah. Actually, I think I might have even heard you do a couple of renditions of that.
Yeah, maybe had an elegant there a few times.
Yeah. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I'd love to go. To Croatia.
Yep.
Any specific spot in Croatia?
Lastova, little island off the coast there.
Okay.
Yeah. Grandparents from there.
True. There you go. The best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Treat others how you would like to be treated.
That was very good.
That's a good one.
And
that one.
And if you had a time machine to go back into any place in time, where would you go?
There's sort of two on my mind. Maybe 09 grand final. Watch Geelong beat the Saints. Be nice.
I knew you were going to say that.
The Beatles rooftop concert. That would have been awesome to be there.
Wow. I'm surprised you know who the Beatles are, mate.
Yeah, I know my Beatles.
Oh, good stuff. Well, if you learnt something new about Liam, then I guess that we've achieved our goal, right? That's how that works. Hey, let's get into. Mate, I'm so nervous. I feel like he's.
I think it's now we can see each other, eh?
Yeah, no, I feel like he's on me. Hey, I feel like
that piece of
advice feels like foreshadowing. All right, well, let's get into this. Liam, first of all, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's an honour.
Tell us about your history with the club. When did you first start playing? Have you held any other positions at the club other than player?
No other positions. Just that's about it. Just player. When did I start? I started Seahawks.
Just defensive god.
Yeah, pretty well. That's it. I started the Seahawks 06. I was kick.
Yeah, right.
So in 6, and I've just played juniors the whole way through, and then that's about it. And then here I am now.
So when did you make your senior debut?
2017. 2017. We didn't have a 17s that year, so a few of us boys ended up playing reserves against ANU, and that was a long day. I think I was 6. Yeah, I think I was 16 at the time.
16.
It was a long day.
Okay. And what about your first grade debut? Do you remember your first grade debut?
Oh, well, technically there's 2 because this one day, Joshy Mulrooney, I think, didn't show up to a game. So I sat on the bench for 4 quarters after playing reserve grade, and I went on for the last 5 minutes and got close to the ball, didn't touch it. And then
doesn't count if you don't get a kick.
Yeah, and the year after I played the round 1 game against Eastlake, I think it was.
And what year was that, Liam?
2018.
2018. Okay. So you've been basically playing first grade on and off for the better part of 6-7 years now. Is there kind of a time where you look at and you go, that's where I felt like I was established in the first grade team?
Pretty well last year, pretty well. I was always there, but I was just too inconsistent. I found myself and not putting my best foot forward. So last year I sort of pulled my head into gear a bit, and I thought I was playing some consistent footy for once.
Yeah, look, I'll piggyback off the back of that because I remember numerous people saying, probably both tongue in cheek and seriously, numerous people saying that you're in probably the best nick you've been in ever at the start of last season. And I think you're looking in pretty fine nick at the moment as well, Liam.
Thank you.
It's probably. do you think it was a matter of like kind of just trying to take it a little bit more seriously and kind of going, oh, I want to be a first grader?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's not always other little things you can fix on, but yeah, I think that was a major part, just mentality, I guess, and really wanting to do it.
Yeah. Now, Liam, since you've played seniors, how many goals have you kicked?
Technically 0, but I did kick one game, 2017 last round, but it's on the score sheet.
It's on the score sheet?
It's not.
It's not on the score sheet. What do you mean by
that? So they didn't give it to me.
Who got the goal, mate?
Oh, I don't know. Someone. Probably Chuka.
So basically what you're saying is you're on a big duck egg for first grade.
Yeah, technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mick, I'll ask you this question. How are we going to get Backo off his duck egg?
I don't know. We'll have to have a think about it. But then we take away the end of season Liam Backo nudie run then. So we've all come accustomed to that though.
It's just an automatic thing at this point. It's just you can pencil it in before round 1. L Backo. So look, this is meant to be a family-friendly show, but
yeah,
I do want to ask a question about this, Liam. You must have that art form down to a T, right? Like you must know that lap, the oval, just about like the back of your hand, right?
Yeah, I do know it pretty well. I wasn't too keen originally to do it. The first time I was not keen at all. I was really ready to leave, to be honest. I was not happy. And then I had to go psych myself up the back of the sheds, and then I just started running. And I think maybe Frost just saw me just running down the wing as fast as I can. So yeah, I've got used to it now, but I wasn't keen originally.
It's probably the fastest lap you put in all season, I'd imagine.
I do my best work actually usually around that time.
Oh man, Backo, how are you feeling about your footy this year?
Yeah, not too bad. I think it's makes it easy when you got a good defensive unit around you. Uh, and Twin Dog said a few times we've been moving that ball out of the back line pretty well, and I think we've just been working really well. We've always been pretty positive down there. I think we're all get around each other and that. So it's makes it easier when you're playing with such good players.
It's been a bit of a transition as well because obviously you lost your two kind of main key tall backs in Noodles and Jade over the off season, and it's probably meant that you've had to play maybe a bit more of a taller role. Is that kind of the way you've looked at it this season?
Yeah, you can say so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So how does that change kind of the way you play your footy? Because I mean, you've always been very much a reliable, kind of responsible defender, staying on your man. But I suppose when you're one of the main keys and probably getting a job every week, that goes to another level.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it's also just talking to your mates, and if you can, they help you out, you help them out. So it's just helping each other. If you're not too confident, you know what I mean. So if they're helping you, it makes it easier. So yeah.
And are you on kicking duties? Are we getting it?
Nah, nah. Jared Thompson's been doing that. He's
Oh
the
man.
best kick in the team. So
Yeah, look, I won't disagree with that, but I didn't mind the occasional torp out of the off
yeah,
the kick in from Backo. So that's disappointed me a little bit if I'm being honest, Poon.
Yeah, I couldn't really argue with Jared kicking out
No,
that.
that's true. That's true.
And then I probably took it off you last year, Scoo, did I? I don't even know who done the kick-ins last year. Me and
yeah.
Noodles,
Yeah, when you came in, you pushed me out of the way. So.
Oh, um, Liam. Obviously, the team is ticking along real nicely at the moment. Haven't lost a game so far. What do you reckon the differences are between this year's team and last year's team?
uh, it's very positive. We're all get around each other and that. I think connections as good as always, and just the way we're moving it is just seamlessly at the moment. It's just really nice. So yeah, movement's been awesome.
Now, I want to ask you, mate, because you are one. You're not an only child. Let's put it that way.
No,
And it's a surname that has appeared on a few sport team lists across the Shire over the years. I know. I think it's your brother Hunter is
yeah,
is pretty well represented at the Boars, and your sister Paris played league tag for a while. Is that correct?
yeah, correct, yeah.
Tell me how important has kind of sport been to not only you but just your entire family growing up in a regional area like Batemans Bay?
Yeah, it's been huge. It's just an outlet, and it's like it's a sense of community, isn't it? So it's just been awesome. Uh, and like it's just been also just drilled into us as kids. Like my dad just loves sport. That's all we talk about really at work, just sport. So it's just a huge part of my life, and couldn't live without it.
I guess it probably makes those weekends where you and the Boars are both playing at home. You still got weekends like that this year, correct, Mick? It's not till next year that kicks in where you're trying to.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of games where
Yeah,
we played the same day, yeah.
yeah, it must be pretty special for your family being able to see you on one side of the change rooms and then your brother on the other side.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think this weekend actually it's happening. So I think Dad said he can to get down there and watch both. So it is special.
Good stuff. Um, Liam, have you played any other sports as a junior, or was footy always kind of your
Pretty
thing?
well, pretty well just footy. Like I played a few union games here and there. Didn't end up well. Just got smashed by these big Samoans. But uh, yeah, just pretty well just AFL.
Oh man, and then you play this game and you get smashed by big forwards.
It's a cruel world, Jolie.
It is a cruel world. I agree with that. I agree with that. Mick, tell me. I mean, you've probably seen a lot of Backo's career, especially playing through the senior grades. What do you think the biggest improvement that he's shown over the past couple of seasons is?
Um, I think, yeah, probably the last couple of years, like you touched on before, I think he's got himself in some pretty good nick. He's worked really hard, and even in the off season, he takes it upon himself to go down and run laps and does that bit of extra work, and I think that's probably put him in really good stead the last couple of years. But he's a really good player, mate, as you're obviously aware of. He just reads the game really well, and goes in hard. And I think his voice and the way that he can lead his midfielders and halfbacks across the field. He's been a really exceptional player for a long period of time now, and he will continue to be a big part for a long period after.
Mm. Liam, you're celebrating 100 games this weekend, which you've already played, but you're going to get the banner and the I don't know. Will he get Chad off the ground?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Get the forklift out.
Tell me what it means to get to 100 games, senior games with the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's such a privilege, like just to be able to play 100 games for a club you grew up playing at, and playing with some of these players who you idolised as a kid. So it was just a huge honour, really.
Do you reckon there will be any emotions from yourself on Saturday?
Oh, wouldn't like to think so, but who knows? With all the girls up there, so.
You're a pretty emotional guy. What are you talking about?
No, maybe we'll see what happens.
And look, you said it earlier that you're planning to be here for a very long time, but it's obviously the game and the way the club operates is going to change a lot. Is that something that drives you with the way you're wired? Is that something that's going to drive you to work harder, do you think, Liam?
I think so. You raise the bar. You try harder, don't you? So, definitely.
Now tell me what Mick's like as a coach from your perspective. I've always been curious.
He's a wise man, McKenny.
Did you pay him that?
Yeah, he just gets you going, doesn't he? Like, never had a coach. He just gets you up and ready for anything, really. It could be a cold winter's day at Googong. You're like, yeah, I'm ready to run through a brick wall here. So it's just, it's awesome to be able to hear him talk.
Actually, there is a story about a game in Googong.
Oh, tell us. Is it safe for the podcast, Mick?
Yeah. I'm sure that there'll be a few blokes who'd be aware of this. So, I was coaching. I don't know the year. Do you know the year, Backo?
I think it was 2019.
Yeah. Actually, it was 2019. Yeah. Anyway, did we lose?
Yeah, I don't think we ever lost to Googong before.
No, I don't think we did.
Because they were horrible back then.
Yeah.
And we never always used to touch.
Anyway, we did our general chat in the middle of the ground at halftime of reserve grade, and Backo, unannounced, to not knowing that I knew, he went out on Friday night, and one of the rugby league boys I actually had on Snapchat, and there was a bit of a video of Backo sculling a couple of schooners. So I sort of opened it up and I said, "Does anyone got anything to tell me?" and yeah, so it come out that I had to tell Backo that I saw the videos of him sculling schooners, and then we went and we got beat by Googong, which we had never done before. So that's why he's got the nickname Schooners around all the blokes that were obviously there at the time.
Oh, look, I did know that story, I will say. And I was tempted to ask you, Liam, about your nickname, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he wants to tell that story. So I'm glad Mick's just jumped in there and gone for it. That's great.
I wouldn't have even remembered it if he hadn't said Googong.
It was a lot drive home that day.
I'd imagine at that point you were probably looking for the nearest hole to hide in, right?
Yeah, I was pretty much a googong already. So
Edit that part out as well. I was looking at we've called Gugong a hole. We've called Malonglow's home ground a cow paddock. We're on fire today. Yeah, so you would have been what, 18 at the time, Liam?
yeah, I think I was freshly 18. Yeah.
Did you ever find out who was the culprit with the Snapchat video?
Uh, yeah, I do. It was Brent Tan from the story.
How did
Uh,
how did, how did that go down?
I was just, I don't know. I was just in the horrors, wasn't I? I was just, no good.
I mean, I guess it's a story you can look back and laugh on now, right, Liam?
Well, that's not exactly right. Got a good nickname from it.
Oh man, I was going to ask before Mick told the story, but I want to get your insight here. What do you reckon the best spray from Poon is that you've been lucky enough to hear?
Uh, I'm trying to think. He did spray us one time in the sheds when no one was looking at him, and he really ripped into. I was one of them for sure. I was staring at the ground, and I think we were losing maybe to ANU or ADFET possibly, and that was a pretty good spray. I needed that, so there hasn't been too many, but he's pretty calm, pretty calm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like I've definitely heard a few quarter time, or especially 3/4 time. Not maybe not sprays, but just a bit. Just trying to get the juices flowing from Poon over the years. So, have you outside of that Gugong one, have you ever been the kind of the target of the ire there, Liam?
Uh, Off the top of my head, I'm a pretty A grade student when it comes to that. Usually,
Oh,
you know,
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
you-
no, I don't. He's usually pretty good, the big fella. Does what he's told most of the time.
yeah. To be fair, that's true. That's true. Now, Liam, look, obviously, let's address the elephant in the room. I have referred to you as the biggest pest of the club several times during the recordings of these podcasts.
yeah,
Do you have a response for that? Do you have anything you want to say back to me?
jolly. Just like to say, nah, thank you for thinking of me. It means a lot. Yeah, for taking on the chin.
You did this last year at training all the time as well. You'd just be nice. Mate,
I'm a
just,
nice
just,
bloke, Jolly. I
I
don't
know
know.
you are, and it frustrates me because I just want to banter, and you're like, nah, it's all good. There's nothing you want to say. Nothing on.
Nah, just
Want to get off
behind
your chest.
closed doors, Jolly. I'll come back at you after.
To be fair, that's what he used to do as well. Look, we got the warning, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the warning. Talking
Um,
too much.
yeah, that's it. Now, I wanted to ask you, Liam, because I feel like you need to have an answer to this question as well. Who do you view as the biggest pest of the club?
Oh, who's a pest? Oh, Jesus. Oh,
I don't think he plays with you guys.
What was that? Sorry.
I don't think Jesus plays with you guys.
Sorry. Will Aiken used to be a huge pest.
Oh yeah, okay.
You used to butt heads, you and Chaz, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
What about Cyril? Surely Cyril's up there.
Cyril is up there, but he rectifies himself all the time with the way he goes about it. So, I don't. Twiny's a pest actually on the drink.
Yes.
You get a bit of liquid courage from the Twiny, and he's a pest.
Yeah.
I've a few people have said Viss. Do you have any opinions on Viss as a
Like that's
like I know he's not
actually like that in Eddie.
Viss, you reckon?
Yeah, you've just rejigged my memory. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. No worries. Now, Liam, also, last year when I was kind of around the club a little bit more, you and I had a special kind of relationship.
That we did.
Yeah, we did. And I'd like to think that I helped you somewhat along the way. But I also want your feedback. Like, was I the worst kind of semi coach you've ever had at the club?
Not at all, Joel. That's actually you're probably Well, you're the worst and the best. I think you're the only semi coach I've had.
That's
So you're top of the list.
okay. Appreciate that.
Sadly, you're bottom of it as well. So.
Yeah, I can cop that. Which
There it is. There
yeah.
it is.
I knew that's fair. That's fair. That is fair. I do remember last year. I think the only time I pulled you off before your hang on, the only time I interchanged you before before you were meant to be coming was, I think, speaking of Gugong, it was an away game against Gugong. Do you remember why, Liam?
Oh, I do remember this. Did I turn the ball over?
You did. You tried to go back across the ground and just, I think, kicked it straight to their full forward or something along those lines.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
and you dropped your head straight away.
I think I
That
did the
was-
exact same thing round one this year as well.
Oh no! Did you get pulled, mate?
No, you weren't there, sadly.
Jesus.
Nah.
We're gonna have to cut that as well. Yeah, and I think from memory, I told, who was running for me that day?
Me.
Yeah, it might have been you. I told Mick to be like, no, go get him. And I think you sat for maybe 4 minutes to get your head back in the game a little bit. From memory, you finished that game off really strong. So, I think that was part of our special relationship. Would you
I
agree?
think, yeah, you can take credit for that one, Joel. It did
No,
help.
it wasn't. It
I
wasn't.
need to clear my head.
It wasn't at all. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, I'm with you, Jolie.
You've got me all flustered, mate.
I'm gonna say.
I'm not myself tonight, eh? Mick, are there any questions you want to ask Liam?
No,
His 100th or
I think we're done, mate. I'm obviously looking forward to the big day on Saturday for Backo's big day. Something we haven't spoken about either is it's Shannon White's 50th club game as well. So
that's a big effort.
all the best to Backo and Shan on Saturday, and yeah, obviously big day for Ladies' Day. Hope the ladies have a cracking day.
That's a massive achievement for Shannon. Someone who has been involved with the coaching not only for the women but for the men's this season. So yeah, very well deserved there for Shannon. Hey, thanks again, Liam.
Thanks,
It's been fun. It's never as scary as you think, is it?
Nah, it's just I was really nervous today, but now it's all over and done with. I feel a lot better.
Just a couple of blokes shooting the breeze, having a guest on. It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go off air now, and I'm sure after we're done, Liam's gonna start absolutely lambasting me. But hey, thanks for joining us for another episode of Hawk Talk. I've been Joel Erickson. That's Mick Kenny over there, and once again, really big thanks to our special guest Liam Backo. We will see you in a fortnight's time.